Hello, I'm Panos Nomikos, Business Development Director at Danaos. I'm going to speak about our company briefly, give you a brief introduction. So, we are one of the largest software houses for the maritime sector globally, and our main task is to integrate the flow of information between all the stakeholders in a shipping business, from the ship owners to the charterers, the ports, the governments, the state authorities, the suppliers, everybody. We have been in business for the past 35 years, and we are perhaps the largest maritime software house worldwide with more than 650 customers, shipping companies, some of them very large shipping companies. Our software works on about 7,000 vessels worldwide. We are more than 140 employees, and we have been in business. We have 12 offices worldwide. We have numerous awards for our work and our software, and our software has been type approved by classification societies and other relevant authorities. Our office, our headquarters is in Greece, and we have, as I said, 12 offices in the various maritime centers of the world. Our people are our best, the most important assets. We have experienced programmers with university degrees and supporters, and our main advantage is that we know very well how to implement software, because selling a software is only perhaps 10% of the job. 90% of the job is how to implement it successfully in a new customer, in a new company. As I said, over the past 35 years, we have received many awards, international and European awards, for our software, the quality, and the various products that we develop. We have 5 main suites. We have a complete, fully integrated ERP, maritime ERP system that integrates and automates the daily work of every shipping company in a completely integrated manner. So information is entered only once on the vessel or ashore, and then flows automatically from department to department and from vessel to shore and back, fully automatically and without never needing to retype anything. Our commercial suite is the software that helps the shipping company to charter their vessel and to follow the voyage. Our ship management suite is a set of software that helps the shipping company to manage the vessel, the procurement side, the plant maintenance, the technical side, the quality certification side, the manning, the crewing side, and the operation, daily operation of the vessel side. This suite communicates with the vessel. There is a full client, Danaos client on board, that automatically exchanges information between the vessel database and the office database. All that go into the financial suite that follows the financial performance of the vessel and of the entire fleet and the company. A snapshot of our software modules. My colleague Mr. Koutlis will give you more details about the usability factors in the software. Our software is fully web-based and can be used from any device, tablet, pocket, smartphone, anywhere. Like here. We have As I said, many customers, and some of them are really enthusiastic about our work. And here is the nice comments one of our valuable customers said about Danaos. And thank you very much. I pass the floor to Mr. Koutlis to explain more about the usability factors in our company.
Danaos UX design principles. We are leading the change for the Web3 era. Let us introduce Danaos. We are a software provider for the shipping industry. Ship owners, ship managers, and more than 20,000 users in their offices use Danaos ERP software for more than 30 years. Danaos software also runs on board more than 7,000 vessels. We started in 1985 using COBOL technology with text displays, with Unix systems, and later on in 1995 we switched to Windows with technologies from Power Builder and Windows desktop applications. And around 2005 we started experimenting with our own Danaos framework, moving towards the internet era. Around 2015 we presented our new web suite of more than 50 applications that run seamlessly inside a browser. What is to know about the modern web and the architecture? The modern web is decentralized. All of our customers have on-premise installations. This is different than using, for example, Gmail or Facebook, where everything comes from one site. Our customers have each own installation of Danaos Web Enterprise with their own servers. Apart from that, we use microservices architectures so that several APIs are available to the stakeholders of each shipping company. We use a software called Danaos One. This is a professional maritime social network that uses e-services that are decentralized, meaning that the data reside on the customer, not on the cloud. The application is completely modular. It can be expanded with new applications that are written either by Danaos or by third-party developers. Each one, using the Danaos framework, can add new functionality. Everything runs in a single-page application with a web interface that is similar to the desktop experience our customers are used for over 30 years. Moreover, it is very important that our applications can run offline, off the grid, on board vessels, and we use a synchronization technology so that we can synchronize the databases residing on vessel or buying online on the premise. So these are the critical considerations when designing the user interface of our new web Danaos Enterprise. The Danaos Desktop Edition, which runs on Windows Desktop Operating System, has a legacy interface which is similar to that provided by the Power Builder developer tools, and we have to be compatible with that, meaning that we have offices and users running web interfaces together with desktop interfaces. Every 2 years, Danaos has a users meeting where all our customers meet and discuss the usability elements of our interface. We have 30 years of design improvements, but we have created a cluttered interface because most of our users need to have all their information in one screen. This is something that changes now, where you can have different browsers and in many screens. It is very usual that a user has 2 or more screens to work with. At the same time, the today's user is used to a modern web experience when he Googles, he runs Facebook, Gmail, Amazon, and each of these technologies and companies have their own UI guidelines. So the end user is experiencing more of third-party applications, and he wants the announce to look similar. Moreover, more than 75% of the professional users use the applications through browsers, and the rest is going through mobile devices, either iPhones or Android phones with native apps or using tablets. Let's consider the evolution of the web. We had in the 90s the first edition of web where the browsers ran just HTML pages. Going to the 2000 era, Web 2 started with JavaScript running most of the applications. The user experience changed and we had dynamic sites with applications running inside the web page. It is the era that we started designing the Announce One, and it was the time that business users needed business analytics, graphics that present the information in a visual manner. Today we are running in an AI decentralized web, meaning that we need several applications to use new modern technologies that take decisions instead of the user. Also, we have sensors everywhere on board vessels. There are hundreds of sensors reading many things like temperature, like speed, like position, and we use all that data to do decision and analytics. A problem that we have is that we don't actually know what device is the user working with for our business application. We have different sizes, different screen sizes, resolution on the screen. Maybe they have 4K monitors, or they have a monitor from the 80s, or they have a large TV, a projector. Maybe they have a touch screen or touch device or a tablet. We don't know, but we have to be compatible. And the user experience must be the same. So we started to build hybrid applications that run inside a browser with JavaScript, and where the device elements, the screen elements, can fit in several screen sizes that are not 3 to 4, they can be 16 to 9 or even horizontal. So let's compare the elements from the 90s to today's web experience. This is a crew planning page with a Gantt chart where we can see how the crew members are utilized. The new interface is uncluttered, it's modern looking, it's easier to see, the colors are eye friendly. Let's see a messaging application. This application called Infogate is used on more than 200 shipping companies. It's similar to Slack or Gmail, but the users can share the information and the messages. We had to design a user interface that is similar to the desktop, but avoiding the cluttered interface with many shadows and boxes. Now we support all modern devices, online and offline. This is another example of design elements that people are used from Facebook or Gmail. We integrated chatting, online chatting, inside our web application. personalization. The end user today wants a dark interface or a white interface. They want to make changes with color themes. They want to change the menu items, the applications, and of course, because we are in a business environment, they want to change permissions, menu items, tasks that are available to each user. During the design phase, we run customer workshops, focus groups with key users. They get beta versions of our applications and they make suggestions to change the look and feel or the business processes. We have adopted a minimal user interface where only the information that is necessary for the next actions is presented to the user. Let's see an example here where on the left we have several ways of finding an application menu item by searching or by using history to see the more used apps. We have button bar on the top. We have a selector here with the asterisk where you can see your favorites that you have selected using a star or the history, or we can choose the applications that run on the Start tab. We also have a tabbed interface where you can move between tabs inside the web page. Maybe some users are running at the same time more than 20 applications. This is not like Windows desktop. This is a web interface where your applications run on your own server in the premises of your company. This is an example of KPI dashboards. What you see here is totally customizable by the end user. The end user selects the KPIs that he wants to see, and this is real-time information coming from the database. This can be the startup screen, and the end user chooses what KPIs he wants to see, and from these KPIs he can go to the applications to see the relevant information. Another example of modern third-party applications that can run inside the browser. Here is an example of a PDF showing inside the web page in a modal where we present a third-party application which is a PDF viewer created by Mozilla. What are the challenges for next year? We have to put artificial intelligence throughout the entire range of applications. We have to be secure because our web applications run in the internet, in the public internet many times. We have to be online and offline, and we have to be ready for the decarbonization era. Artificial intelligence means running many microservices in the background, most of them using Python language, which is mostly used for artificial intelligence. We have an application called Waves Performance Monitor, which is the first application that runs Python microservices, and we extend this today in InfoGate messaging, where we can filter application messages, and also in new applications like you see on the screen, where we can select and optimize the cargo. Cybersecurity is very important because many security incidents are common these days, with no exception in our shipping industry. Every server that goes online is hit by a hacker after 5 minutes of becoming alive. Also, we have several APIs running that are also exposed on the internet. We get regularly penetration tested, and we use all modern security best practices, which has to be considered when designing a user interface. For example, this is the login screen. We use Google Authenticator code, which is generated every 1 minute. So instead of typing username and password, you also have to type the Google Authenticator number. Also, we integrate with Active Directory and new technologies from Cloudflare in case the shipping company does not want to have passwords at all. Another challenge is to build applications that are running offline. This is an example of an iPad application for our Infogate system where we have an approval process that is running offline. When the user gets online, the process will follow. Decarbonization is the biggest challenge that we face in the shipping industry. We use AI, we use online and offline weather services, we have optimized routing with AI suggestions that is looking to millions of parameters to minimize the carbon usage. Another third-party UI integration is from Qlik. Qlik is a software used by more than 60,000 corporations around the world to display data in a visual way. This is an interface that we use and where you can drive yourself inside the data. This is an example of a redesigned screen for risk assessment. This is a screen example of the operation management where you can see we also integrate weather and weather routing and maps in a single page application. Thank you for watching some design elements from the world's most advanced shipping software.